guys, it's Anissa. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are doing another review. I'm going to be reviewing this new Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. You guys will have to watch the video to see what my thoughts are, but if you are interested in my thoughts on any other new products that have come out recently and even some older ones, I do have a full playlist of reviews that I will link right up here for you guys to go check out if you're interested. And I also have a whole bunch of playlists if you're in the mood to binge watch. Just a little disclaimer for you guys that are new, and I don't think I've ever even mentioned this in a video, and I want to start mentioning it because it's very important. I have oily / combo skin, so the center of my face is more oily and then the outside of my face is more normal. And I'm mentioning this to you guys because it will determine how I feel about the product and also if I would recommend it to you. If you want to see if I think this product is worth the money, then please make sure to keep on watching. But before you go any further, please make sure to like this video and subscribe. I post on this channel every 4 days, so you never have to miss me for too long. But let's just go ahead and get into it. Welcome to day one of this review. We are back at it again. As you guys saw from the title of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and review this Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. First thing I noticed, it only comes in 25 shades, which if you guys are familiar with any of Rihanna's other complexion products like the Soft Matte Foundation or the hydrating one, which I am a huge fan of both, there is a lot more to choose from. And looking at this is actually heavier on the darker side of the spectrum, which is something that you do not see a lot of. On the lighter side of things, it looks like there's a lot of hops and skips, and the shades 4 and 6 look identical, and so do 5 and 7. Tell me if I'm crazy. If they would have started with this, like say this is their range for the foundation, it wouldn't have been acceptable, but it wouldn't have been as weird for you to come out with, you know, I think there's 40 plus shades in those, and then for you to come out with 25 in this. It retails for $29.50, so it's about 30 bucks. It is supposed to be a blurring skin tint that delivers smooth, instantly blurred skin in just a few easy drops. It's supposed to have a light coverage, and it's supposed to be easy to apply, flexible, and instantly evens out your complexion. It's actually supposed to be hydrating too, and it's a quick no makeup look, smooth texture. It says apply well with fingers or a brush. I'm surprised that they didn't say sponge and brush versus fingers with brush. Try to avoid touching your face at all costs. That's a huge cause of acne, and it's 100% cruelty free. Since this claims to be blurring, it doesn't claim to be pore filling. I don't know, there's like a line in between those two things. I want to use this Milk Makeup Hydro Grip today, one of my favorites. I feel like I do use this in every review, but it's because it's just that good, and it doesn't really interfere with the claims of this foundation. This is really just gonna be long wearing. Sticky, gives your foundation a nice base to work with. I got the shade 20. I think that they group like 3 shades together under one. They actually recommended me the shade 20. I almost wanted to go lighter because I feel like this is gonna be a little bit too dark for me, but I wanted to go off of the conversion chart and see just how accurate it is. I'm not wearing eyeshadow today because I do want to go for that like completely effortless, no makeup look, and then maybe we'll put some on tomorrow. When I think of Fenty, I think of very geometric shapes, so this is very fitting. It's a nice size. You get 1.08 fluid ounces, which is about the standard. Shake well before use. It sounds pretty liquidy. I'm gonna do the sponge side first and then do the brush side. Maybe we'll try to build it up on one side, and I'm excited because it claims to be light as air. I have not watched any reviews on this, and I do like the applicator. I love when stuff comes in squeezy bottles. You don't have to get your hands messy, nothing to pump out on your hands. Good thing I got shade 20 because I was going to get 19 and that would have been super light. So, but sometimes it's hard to tell until you blend it out. So I'm gonna zoom you guys in just a little bit more. And then just using my favorite sponges of all time. This isn't the Total Face sponge. I'll put a picture of whichever sponge this is. Definitely light coverage, but I can see that it did help with some redness from my spots. I can still kind of see the spots, but the redness is not as bad. As of right now, it is light as air. The finish claims to be natural. Whenever I see like blurring or anything like that, I just assume it's matte. It claims to be exactly what it is. It is a very, very light coverage. I mean, you can tell a difference between this side of my face and this side of my face. It looks like my skin, but it just looks a little bit more evened out. So I'm gonna build this up just to see if we can. When you are using a sponge, you're gonna get a little bit less coverage than what you would, whether you can tell or not sometimes, because the sponge does just tend to soak up some of your product. But again, it's all about a preference. That's why I do both sides for you guys. I don't know if that really did much more than the first layer. What do you guys think? And it says you only need a few drops, so I feel like I'm not being super heavy-handed. This is very summer vibes for me, even though I usually do wear a full face in the summertime. If you're looking for a tool that's gonna give you the most full coverage, use any super dense foundation brush. What I would recommend to you guys, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that's recommended it, is the MORPHE M439. It is the most dense foundation brush that I personally have. We're gonna go ahead and do this side of the face and see if we get any more coverage. It looks pretty. It's not what I'm used to because y'all know I'm like a full beat girl. It didn't really blur anything, especially I can still see my pores, so that worries me just a tad bit because I was hoping that it would have like some type of blurring effect. It is a natural finish, so I'm thinking that my oils are gonna come through a little bit quicker because I didn't use a mattifying or pore filling primer. So maybe that's something that we'll have to do tomorrow, but we can see today how long it lasts on oily skin. It doesn't claim to be pore filling, but it does claim to be blurring. And I mean, it's not really blurring, it just kind of, it's a light tint and like evened out my skin. Sephora's matching is actually pretty decent. It really just depends on the brand, I have found. What you can do is you can put in your shade from other brands if you're not sure what your shade conversion would be, and it will recommend a shade to you and it'll tell you if it's an exact match or if it's close to, and it's actually pretty accurate. I just think it depends on the brand. I have experienced this specifically with the powder foundation from this line. It was way too dark and it was the same shade as my foundation. Usually it's a little bit easier to see with a brush if it is buildable. It's a little bit more buildable on this side, but I used to be somebody who only used full coverage foundation. If you don't want to use a medium coverage foundation, use a light coverage foundation and then a full coverage concealer, and it will bring your face to life, I promise. Number one, I did not have difficulty blending it out or anything like that. It was easy to blend out. It does look very, very skin-like. I can still see a little bit of my redness peeking through, more so on this side than on this side. The only thing I am like super worried about is right in here, because this is my oily part in between my eyebrows, around my nose, and then even around my lips sometimes. My cheeks look fine. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. It's really going to come down to how it wears. For concealer today, I'm just gonna be using this Morphe Fluidity Full Coverage Concealer in the color C3.55. I love this stuff, so maybe using this will kind of elevate it. Oh wow, you see what that did to my face? Like, that's what I'm talking about. It just completely elevates everything because this is the center of your face. So this is where all the attention gets drawn. And if this has, you know, good coverage to it, you're gonna be good. That would be like one of my biggest tips if you're somebody who does not like wearing super heavy makeup, or even if you don't like wearing a whole lot of makeup, but you do want a little bit more coverage. Use that skin tint or, you know, that light coverage foundation and then just elevate underneath your eyes and boom. I'm pretty sure if this goes how I think it will, I'm gonna need to use a different primer. And I don't wanna switch up too many products between today and tomorrow because I wanna be able to tell if there's a difference what it was. We'll do translucent today and translucent tomorrow with a different primer. And then day 3, I will do a powder with coverage. For underneath the eyes, I'm going to be using this JUNO & Co setting powder. This is in the color Brightening. This stuff is amazing. It makes you look like you've had 30+ hours of sleep. Currently, my favorite translucent powder of all time. This is the Hailey's Beauty Retouch Perfecting Powder, Loose Setting Powder in the color Translucent. This is the same product. They just changed the packaging. We're gonna do half brush, half sponge. To my knowledge, was back in stock. You see, this even helped mattify. It just kind of set everything there, which I really like because I am an oily gal, so I do like to start off pretty matte. This actually looks really pretty on this side over here. Ooh, see, this is why I did not like you. Look at that. Yes, I'm still in my pajamas because it is 6:30 in the morning. Everything got the same amount of powder. I did not powder my oily areas more than my non-oily areas. I have found that natural foundations break up a little bit faster than matte ones do. This side looks way better. So isn't that so crazy? How, you know, application and tools that you use literally make all the difference. I did my base for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and do everything else off camera and then I will be back. Okay guys, I went ahead and finished my face and first setting spray today. You guys are probably sick and tired of seeing this. It's so good. It's just the next bear with me. I am getting very low. My mustache is a lot more noticeable than what it usually is. And I noticed that right off the bat. Actually, after I sprayed the setting spray, kind of took off the mattifying that the translucent powder had on it, but it doesn't do that with any other products that I use. I kind of have to come to the conclusion that it's the foundation. I don't even have like a whole bunch of makeup on, but I feel like my texture is really accentuated in certain areas. I don't think it blended well with other products. Like as soon as I put on my blush, you can see all my texture, especially since this is a lighter coverage. I expected it to kind of blend in really well with my texture. Usually it's more full coverage foundations that are more cakey that will accentuate your texture. It's currently 7:22 in the morning. I started filming at about 7. I'll check in with you guys and I will see you when I'm ready to take it off. All right guys, it is currently 3:33, so I've been wearing this for actually 8 hours, right? This is my initial picture and it looked really good. It felt really light. And then after like 2 hours of wear, my shine started peeking through, which I knew it was going to do, especially right in here around my nose. I'm blowing my nose a lot, so I have a lot of redness. You could see that, but again, I was blowing my nose, so that could be it too. This is a video for you guys to show you what it looks like. The makeup is definitely starting to break down right here and definitely on my forehead. My cheeks always look decent, and I think that's because they're the normal part of my face. It kind of is crazy how you have the same face, but two parts of it can be completely different. By hour 5, I was like really ready to take this off. I just felt like it was really heavy on the skin, which is funny because it's a tinted moisturizer and it was supposed to be lightweight. And it felt lightweight at first, but it was just heavy. And I was ready to take it off. This was hour 6. Ooh, girl, she's greasy. Like my forehead, like an oil slick, especially in natural lighting. And I also wanted to show you guys, I took a video. The texture on my chin is unbelievable, how much you can see it. I'll show you guys in this video. Like, look, I just look so textured. My thing is I don't look this bad without makeup, so I don't want to look this bad with makeup. I do have my tinted moisturizers that I like and I know what they can do. Did what I expected it to do because it is a natural finish and I have oily skin. So tomorrow we're gonna pair it with like a mattifying primer. We're gonna do the translucent powder. Actually, I'm gonna do a mattifying setting spray to see if that does anything different. It does what it says it does. So that's why I can't be like, it's awful. It's lightweight, but it kind of like clings to the skin really weird after a while. I will see you guys in the morning. Good morning, guys. It is day 2. It is currently 6:30 in the morning. I went ahead and did simple eye makeup, so we are already with that. So we're just gonna jump straight into primer. And I told you guys today I wanted to use a mattifying primer. So for today's primer, I'm gonna be using this e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. I can't remember what I said I was gonna do for day 3, but then I forgot that I had mentioned that I wanted to use this with some other Fenty products. That's probably what we'll end up doing tomorrow. Fenty's complexion, if anything, is my favorite. And when I say complexion, I mean their foundation. The concealer is all right, and the powder I used to really, really love. I wanted to go ahead and tell you guys about yesterday. So after I filmed, I actually intended to take my makeup off, but I did not get the chance. So I wore it until about 7 o'clock, so an additional 2 hours. And guys, let me tell you, my face felt so gross. I was so ready to take my makeup off. And here's the funny thing. I get in the shower and I'm using my cleansing oil and I'm using my makeup wipe, and you can see the makeup running in the water. And there was literally no makeup left on my face at all. So I was like, okay, so why does my face feel so heavy if I don't even have a lot of product on it? So I don't know if it like clogged my pores or did what. We're gonna see if this does any better today with basically products that are gonna help it have a little bit more lasting power. And it has coverage, you guys can see, at least at first. And the thing is, I was like, okay, so where did my makeup go? Because I only wore a mask for an hour yesterday and there was barely any makeup on my mask. I was surprised that it came off so quickly because I really wasn't doing anything yesterday. Yesterday was a big study day, so I sat down pretty much the whole time. I'm gonna go work for 2 hours today and see how it does with that. This brush side feels so heavy. Oh, this does not feel good. And here's my thing, like, you know, with tinted moisturizers, I expect you to be lightweight because you really don't have much coverage. So why are you heavy versus a full coverage foundation? Keep in mind, there are full coverage foundations that are lightweight, but I really don't complain if they are a little bit heavy. I always note it to you guys, but I mean, it's kind of something that isn't expected, but you know, like fuller coverage might be a little bit more heavy on your face. And lighter coverage should not be heavy on the face. Looking up close, my pores do look better today, and I do think that is because of the primer. Now they don't look perfect, but they do look a lot more smooth. Today's concealer is the Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer, and I'm in the color Butterscotch. The first product I ever tried from Fenty was the Soft Matte. And I was so excited when I heard that Rihanna was coming out with a makeup brand. I feel like she was really the first non-beauty influencer celebrity to do a makeup line. And now you see everybody doing one. I mean, Lady Gaga, Selena Gomez. I really loved her foundation. I mean, it still is one of my favorites. I love, love, love it. But you know, I have tried the powder foundation that she just came out with, which I will link up here somewhere for you guys to watch. The loose powder is all right. I really do love her cream blushes and her cream contour and the bronzer. And then just using, again, the same loose powder. And I'm going to use the sponge all over the face. Looked a little bit more seamless yesterday with the sponge. I think if I had to pick a brand that I liked the most all across the board, probably Juvia's Place, because I like everything that I've tried from there, besides a few eyeshadow palettes, but they're pretty consistent across the board. And I really love e.l.f., but they have some huge misses for me. This side of my face still does feel a little bit more heavy. I would recommend, if you do try it, using it with a sponge if that heavier feeling does bother you. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face really quickly, and then I will be right back. All right, I went ahead and finished the rest of my face, and I used this Urban Decay All Nighter. Probably my favorite mattifying setting spray. My skin actually looks better than it did yesterday. Yesterday, when I put on my powder products on top of everything, they did not go together. I don't think the foundation liked them very much, but I used the same products today and it looks really good so far. So my phone just died, but you guys saw I started filming at 6:30. I definitely look more matte than I did yesterday, so I'm hoping that it lasts longer. My oils did start to break through yesterday at about hour 3, so I'm gonna see if it does the same thing today or if it lasts a little bit longer. As always, I'll take pictures for you guys, and then I will see you when I'm ready to take it off. All right, guys, it is currently 3:46, so I've had this makeup on for 9.5 hours. This was my starting picture. Looks pretty decent, especially with the flash from far away, but I'm gonna show you guys once you zoom in. My chin and my mustache. I'm gonna screenshot this so I can show you guys. Initially, when you look at it and you're zoomed out, it's great. And I didn't even realize this till I started looking at the picture more closely. It doesn't even look like I have anything mattifying on. Okay, I wish I could show you guys what I'm seeing like super up close, but it's like really, it looks like I have like a film on my forehead right here. This is hour 3, by the way. My cheeks don't look bad. They still look the same. My chin and my mustache. Around my nose, you guys can see the makeup is already breaking down. And then my forehead is obviously oily. I was hoping that it would last a little bit longer with the mattifying products, and it didn't. Foundations that have a natural finish that I like do not do this with mattifying products. Picture is taken at 11:49, and then I have an up close view for you guys. This is at 2:03, so this was an hour and a half ago. I look like a freaking oil spill. I didn't have much makeup on my mask either. I just look oily, and then my normal spots look decent, actually. If you have natural skin, I mean, for this to be 9 hours of wear, honestly, it does look better than it did yesterday. Tomorrow, I think I'm just going to do like a full face of Fenty pretty much, and then I'm gonna touch up and see throughout the day and see if that helps at all. I will see you guys tomorrow. We are on our very last day, day 3, for testing out the skin tint. If I talk a little weird, it's because I have my Invisalign in, and I was gonna take it out, but I feel like if I take it out, I'm not gonna put it back in. I already did my eyeshadow. Yesterday, I used this e.l.f. Opposites Attract palette, and then today, I went ahead and used this OFRA Cosmetics. This is the Signature palette. So beautiful. I just wanted to go ahead and mention that to you guys. I am going to do a full face of Fenty, at least what I have. Everything is Fenty except for lipstick, lip liner, and setting spray. First things first, I'm gonna go in with this Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Primer. I just wanted to see how it did with other products from the brand, and I did mention to you guys too. I am gonna touch up today and see if that helps at all. My skin feels nice. It doesn't feel super smooth, but it does feel nice. We're just gonna go straight in with the skin tint. Yesterday, I figured out that I prefer a sponge with this particular product over a brush. With the brush, it just felt really heavy on the face. Feels really, really lightweight with a sponge. I don't even feel like I have product on my face right now. I can feel it up here because it's not blended in. The skin looks good. I feel like it applies easier on the places that are not as oily on my face. So like my cheeks look really, really good. And then around up here looks all right. My forehead looks all right. Next is concealer, and I'm just going to be using this FILT'R Instant Retouch Concealer, and I am in the color 360. This concealer is a little bit more mattifying, so I'm curious to see how this will work in conjunction with this skin tint because it is more natural. But the coverage is really good on it. If you don't like to wear a lot of makeup but you want that decent coverage, use a light coverage foundation with a full coverage concealer, and boom. Now I remember this being a lot more dry last time I used it. It's really easy to blend out. Those two actually look really good together. I actually like the way that this looks with this particular product than it does with my favorite concealers. So that's a little strange. I love doing first impressions for you guys because they're the easiest way for me to do mini rapid reviews. But sometimes you have to use a product more than once and with different products for you to know everything about it. And then sometimes it'll show you its true colors first time around. We're gonna test and see if this really creases or not because I'm doing cream blush and cream bronzer. It's probably one of my favorite products from them aside from the foundation. This is the Freestyle cream bronzer. It is in the color Chocolate 6. This is one of the most beginner friendly cream bronzers I've ever tried. It's super easy to apply. I'll take it on my brush and then I'll pat a little of it on the back of my hand. That way I don't have too much. And then just place it right where I want it. And then I'll take my sponge and blend. And then if I bring it down too far, I always just clean it up with powder. So boom, there you go. I don't really contour up here. Sometimes I will if I'm feeling like super fancy. And this will be interesting to see how this product works, not only with these products, but because they are cream and I haven't used any cream products. Love, love, love. This is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush in the color 10 Rose Latte. I'll go ahead and show you guys. Just a beautiful, beautiful color. I take a stippling brush. And if you're wondering, this blush does work well over powder too. Just the prettiest wash of color. And then I'm gonna get up close in a second and see how these look. Oh wow, okay, that actually looks really, really good. I'm going to use translucent powder underneath my eyes. Honestly, this is going better than it was yesterday. My under eyes look really, really good. For my powder, this is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Setting Powder, and this is in the color Hazelnut. I did want to use a powder with coverage today because that's usually what I do when I wear a tinted moisturizer. And all of her products have the same scent. I can't describe it. If you've ever smelled any of their products, you know. It's not strong either. It just, you can tell that there is a fragrance to it. This is the best my skin has looked the past 3 days. My pores look pretty much non-existent, which is really surprising. I wasn't sure how that primer was going to do. Everything else that I have is not Fenty, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my mascara and my lips, and then I'll be back. I went ahead and did my mascara and my lips, and then I also went ahead and sat with this Urban Decay all-nighter like I did yesterday. I'm thinking maybe this product works better with other cream-based products. Usually you can tell that my texture is there before I put my powder on, but even before I put powder on, my skin looked pretty smooth. I look really even. I honestly look like I have a full face of makeup on. And I mean, I do, but it looks like I have full coverage on. So now I'm like really conflicted. At the same time, I'm like, okay, am I really gonna use this again? Because I feel like I can achieve the same thing without it and at a cheaper price. My cheeks look awesome, especially my pores are really big right in here. So right in between like where my under eye is and my cheeks looks super good. I still feel like right in here and right around here, I still look like I have a little bit of a natural gleam slash glow. It is currently 10:13. I started filming at 9:30-ish. I'll take pictures, let you guys know how this does. I will see you guys when I'm ready to take it out. It is 4:10. Blotted my face about 2 hours ago. It looks still pretty matte. I can see the oil still wanting to kind of come through, but I will be honest with you guys, my face does feel a little bit heavier, especially in the places that I powdered. But yeah, I'm really conflicted. My under eyes look really, really good. I really don't know if that is the concealer or if it's the foundation or if it's the powder or if it's all three. All I know is it looks good. My cheeks look good for how long this has been, but my main thing is just my T-zone. I think that this is made for people with
normal skin. There are some foundations and skin tints and stuff that are natural finish and they are oily skin friendly. This is not one of those. I even said in my last review, I'm so happy that I do have combo skin and that different parts of my face are different skin types, because then I can speak for multiple skin types. I think that if you are somebody that likes light natural makeup and you have normal skin, I think you would like this based off what my cheeks look like. If you're somebody with oilier skin, I would not recommend using this. It just doesn't have that longevity, and I mean, it almost like wears off of the skin. It really didn't do that on my cheeks. And also I wanted to mention, I never have ever had a foundation accentuate my smile lines right here, and it definitely did that. Would I repurchase? No. Am I gonna continue using this? Probably not. This is something I wanna start doing if I can when I'm testing products, is give you guys alternative products that I think you would like. So like if you had normal skin, I think you'd like this. It seemed to do really good on the parts of my face that were normal, and keep in mind I didn't touch my cheeks up or anything. I just touched my T-zone up and it's still a little bit oily. Some really good like light CC creams, tinted moisturizers, anything like that. Sephora Perfected Tinted Moisturizer. Also the e.l.f. Camo CC Cream. This is something that's probably gonna be the most in coverage. That is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in a couple of days. How did I get here?